Okay, so a little bit about myself. I'm the CEO of a company that is called Aurora Labs. We're building a protocol that is called Aurora. We are the builders, right? So I'm going to talk today a little bit about the kind of the challenges of the industry that we have in front of us and how we actually can solve them. So I'm going to start with a very, very short part about Aurora, and then we're going to transition into the talk. I'm here not to sell you Aurora, but I'm here to explain you what I see as the challenges, right? So Aurora itself is an EVM solution that is working on top of NEAR protocol. And maybe you heard of NEAR. This is a scalable L1 solution. And what Aurora does is provides an EVM runtime on top of it. So through Aurora, developers are able to launch their Solidity smart contracts on NEAR, while in NEAR native virtual machine, they are unable to do it. We have our own RPC that is Web3 compatible, so everything that is working in the Ethereum ecosystem also works with Aurora. Wallets like MetaMask, IDEs for developers like Remix, Truffle, OpenZeppelin SDK, everything that you know from the Ethereum ecosystem works with Aurora just because it is one-to-one Ethereum compatible. Moreover, we actually implemented ETH as a base token. And by saying base token, it means that the users are paying their transaction fees in ETH. So this is done to have a full Ethereum compatibility with absolutely no changes from the developers and from the user standpoint. Many people are asking why we did it, so I wanted to go through this in a little bit more detail. Besides Aurora, we have some additional projects and products that are already in the market, and one of them is Rainbow Bridge, and this is the first trustless and fully permissionless bridge in between Ethereum and some other network. So you can check it out before the market drop and all of this massacre that is happening right now. On Rainbow Bridge, smart contracts was more than 2 billion worth of assets, mainly in stable coins, and we are at constant attacks, and they are all mitigated automatically. So we know how to do the contracts. They're very, very complicated. I believe smart contracts that developed by Aurora are one of the most complicated smart contracts ever created. At least because Aurora is an EVM implementation, right? And Aurora is a smart contract. Yeah. So EVM implemented as a smart contract is working in NEAR virtual machine. And on top of it, we have also user smart contracts working. So it's like a dream in a dream in a dream, right? Let's transition to the actual topic. Do we actually need to enhance developer and user experience? And I'm going to show you a very simple stat. So on the left-hand side, you are able to see the chart from Etherscan, the unique Ethereum addresses chart. And it is growing. It is almost at 200 million different accounts. And it feels like everything's okay, right? But if you will take a look at it, you will see that, okay, it was like an increase in speed of growth, and now it is a decrease. And when you start thinking of that, more and more projects are deploying, and users are often creating their additional accounts for themselves. This is something natural, right? So it actually feels that the growth is not that big in terms of the users who are using the blockchain. And on the right-hand side, this is also a graph in millions, but it looks a little bit different, right? It's like there is an increase in the speed of growth, though in the end there is a little bit of a decrease. And this decrease is not happening because of the market is not good, but because actually this graph represents the people in India. They do not have much more people than that amount, that 1 billion people. This is the usage of the smartphones in India. The way how the graph on the right-hand side is looking is much, much better than the way how the graph is looking on the left-hand side in terms of the growth, if we're taking into account all of the things that I've just said. From my point of view, this is just a pretty straightforward evidence of the fact that we are losing the scaling challenge as an industry. It's not about some particular protocol, it is not about some team, but it is just about all of us who are doing something good for the blockchain and for the adoption. Mass adoption is not even close to what we are doing. Moreover, I can tell you the following idea. Web3 and blockchain guys are like teenagers. We're saying that we're going to change the world. We're going to start a revolution. Everything is going to be different. Our parents from Web 2 are know nothing, right? This is exactly our kind of teenager situation at the moment. And what Web 2 is showing to us is that they actually know how to do stuff, right? They know how to scale, they know how to do great user experience, they know how to onboard people, and they know how to convert it into profits, right? So it's time for us right now, just stop for a second, get to our late 20s, and actually say, okay, actually my mother was right? So this is what we need to do right now in order to succeed as an industry. I see here two problems that we need to tackle. How to get to that India chart. And the first problem is the block size is limited, right? This is a pretty famous problem. Everybody is saying that, okay, the blockchains are not scalable and stuff like that, and we need to develop scalability solution. But fundamentally, if we're thinking of the biggest ecosystem that is there, the EVM kind of ecosystem, that consists of not only Ethereum, but also other chains that have EVM compatibility. Well, the premise of this ecosystem is the EVM as a runtime. And it is fundamentally non-scalable. It is a very simple, very convenient runtime that probably children can teach in school in general, because it's just like transactions are just executed. In case they are going through, then everything is good. In case they are failing, then everything is rolled back, right? So there is no problem with it. But it cannot scale. Anyone who is saying to you that we are going to launch an EVM that supports 10,000 transactions per second, 20,000, 100,000 transactions per second is lying in your face. You can say, go to Alex and he will explain you that you're doing something really stupid. So what can we do about it? Well, Web 2 is saying what to do. In case you have only one computer and you are not able to run your application on it, well, you just need to have many computers, right? This is how Google works. This is how Facebook works. We need more EVM. And not even more EVM, but much more EVMs, right? The amount of computers that Google is using is insane, right? It's hundreds of thousands of computers. We need hundreds of thousands of EVMs running, right? In order to have enough supply for the Web 2 world users who will come to the blockchain. And we actually, in order to achieve this, we need to transform blockchain and EVM into a utility. It's like plugging your laptop in the power outlet. It should be something like that. We need to give an ability for anyone in the world to run their blockchains really smoothly and really fast. If today I'm coming as a developer on an AWS website or any web kind of cloud provider website, I'm clicking that I would like to get a server, then I got it in like 1 minute. Something like that should be happening with a decentralized servers too. There should be a movement towards this goal. And the question is obviously how to do it, right? And there are some ecosystems that are actually progressing towards this goal. So Polkadot, Cosmos, Near itself as a layer 1 that gives an ability to horizontally scale the execution. But the question, is this enough? From my point of view, we need to have more builders that are focusing in this direction in general. The second problem, which is, from my point of view, even bigger, than the previous one is that the blockchain user experience is insanely bad. So imagine the following. I'm going to just to show one simple example. Imagine that you're a mobile game developer. You have your business model around selling gems or selling chests to people. And you would like to introduce kind of blockchain, NFTs, and maybe something gamify things inside of it. How would you do it? Well, you need to explain to your user that he needs to install MetaMask, probably needs to install an exchange, go to exchange, create account, do the KYC, move your funds there, buy several tokens, move it out of the exchange, bridge it to something that is better than Ethereum in terms of the transaction fees, and then there, every time when something is happening, he needs to pay the fees of for the transactions in the third-party software, right? And from time to time, he needs to top it up, and yeah, something like that. This is insane, right? Like, this thing is not able to work in Web 2, with Web 2 users, when they just click and they get it. Web 2 mastered the way how they are selling things to people, and because of this, we need to keep with it. We cannot say to people that, hey, now from the subscription models that you have on mobile phones, you need to go back and pay per second every time when you're doing a call, and you need to think about your SMS that you're sending on a case-by-case basis, right? That's not going to work. People right now are used to the good user experience. So besides this example, there are problems like stuck transactions, gas prices that are going up and down, and you do not know what to do with it. If you put the gas limit too low, then you need to replay the transaction, and maybe sometimes you actually need to roll back some things. This is very, very, very hard to do it. Everybody just wants to look at their phone and execute things. This is how things are working right now. So there are some projects also that are going in this direction. So for example, in Fura ITX. So if you're a developer, maybe you have seen this product, they're trying to implement an ability to top up your Infura account, and then they will be sending transactions on your behalf at the current price and guarantee the transaction execution. Something like that. But in general, we need to enhance this. And actually, from the Aurora side, we have a product that was released just recently. It is called Aurora Plus. This is our vision for a better user experience. I encourage everyone to go follow this QR code and check out the keynote around the launch of the Aurora Plus. This is a 20-minute video. You are able to find it in the YouTube. Just put there Aurora Plus event and you will see it. So we're not going to, again, I'm here not to sell to you Aurora. I'm just saying that this is a problem that needs to be tackled. Since we know that, since in Aurora we know that these are two problems, well, we're just one of the players. But in general, the idea is that we need to solve these issues as an industry to become something big and something meaningful and leave a footprint in the history. So, inviting everybody to solve these challenges, find a team or do your own project that is focusing on this, and let's finally move towards the mass adoption. That's it for today, and we have also some time for Q&A. Thank you.
Hi there. Sorry I'm a bit late, so forgive me if I didn't catch this part of
Yeah, no problem. My name is Alex.
Yeah, so I just want to ask a question. So in the last slide, you mentioned that Aurora is doing its staking. So I'm just curious, did you build up the infrastructures yourself, or is that kind of services you're utilizing?
Which infrastructure?
For the staking.
For the staking. Well, Aurora staking is in fact, yes, there is Aurora staking inside of the Aurora ecosystem, and it was built from the ground up. So this is absolutely kind of separate thing.
Thank you.
Come on. Like usually when people do not have any questions, it means that they either understood everything or understood nothing. And like in 90% cases is the second.
Thanks, Alex, for the speech. I'd like to understand a bit more about how you think Polkadot and Cosmos are solving the scalability problem, please.
Yeah, sure. So the approach of Cosmos is that let us build a framework for the blockchains, and then everybody who wants to launch a blockchain, they can assemble a blockchain code from different pieces, and then they can find validators, run on these validators their own chain. This is how BSCs work, and this is how Luna used to work, and other chains. In Cosmos ecosystem, including testnet and mainnet, there are around 300 chains that are working. From my point of view, my personal point of view, this is a good Web3 approach, a rebellion approach. It is not good for Web2 at all. So, because when you are thinking of assembling your own blockchain, finding validators, incentivizing them to actually validate your blockchain, that is pretty complicated. So I do not think that this approach is scalable. With Polkadot, it is a little bit different approach. So they already have validators, and you are already able to launch your own parachain, as they call it. But there is an auction for it, and the amount of parachains is limited. So it's solving scalability problem right here, right now, but it is not solving the scalability problem tomorrow. Moreover, the EVM compatibility, if we're talking about the majority share of the market, there is not by default, right? So Polkadot runtime is absolutely different. It is called Substrate, right? And though there are projects that are working on Polkadot that are trying to create EVM runtime there, so like Moonbeam. So again, I think that Polkadot's approach is also is not full. I mean, it works for now, but then also the problem with the runtime, not that good. So we can do better. Yeah, probably last question, and then we will finish.
All the time we have, because these are sort of really quick sessions, but another round of applause for Alex, please.
Sure.